Hi friends, welcome back. We are studying the difference between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. We have already studied what are the Western Ghats and what is an Eastern Ghat. And let us just revise the difference, and in this revision lecture about the Western and Eastern Ghat, you will revise many things which are asked in the examination regarding these two types of mountain ranges. We are doing a comparative study of the Western and Eastern Ghats, and what is the first basic difference between the Western and Eastern Ghats? The first basic difference between the Western and Eastern Ghats is in the term of relief. If I draw the map of India here, what are the Western Ghats? Western Ghat are the series of a continuous mountain which go from south of the Tapi river right up to Kanyakumari. It is broken only in three parts. That is in the passes of Thal Ghat, it is a passes of a Bor Ghat, and the pass of an Pal Ghat gap. On other hand, the Eastern Ghat are the series of a discontinuous mountain which which do not have that much dominant relief, and therefore they are a series of a discontinuous mountain which do not have a dominant relief, and therefore in fact they look like a small hills. Now why is this so? That is the first point of a difference. You know why it is this so? Because the Western, what is an Western Ghat? The Western Ghat, which I'll write as WG, is a continuous mountain, Actually what it is? This is a series of a continuous mountain which actually is an edge of a plateau. On other hand, in the same point, the Eastern Ghats, are discontinuous hills. So one is it's the edge of a plateau, it looks like a continuous mountain. The other is in the form of a discontinuous hills. That is the first point of a difference. You can see here even then the map how the Eastern and the Western Ghats look like. Now what is the second point of a difference between the Eastern and the Western Ghats? The second point of a difference between the Eastern and the Western Ghats is, what is the second difference? The second difference is, you think on your own, what will be the second difference? If you are mountain, then what do you mention about the mountain? We will talk about the relief of a mountain. The second is on the terms of a relief of a mountain. Now which is having higher relief? The Western Ghats or the Western Ghats is having a higher relief. That is why I said, what is the height of which is the highest point of an Western Ghat? The entire Western Ghat ka highest point is Anaimudi mountain. What is the height? About 2500 meters. Doda Beta about 2500 meters. Kalsu by 1600 something meters. On other hand, the Eastern Ghats are a series of discontinuous mountains. Have we mentioned anything about the height of the Eastern Ghats except for the Garjat hills mein Malangiri? No. So the second point is regarding the relief. Western Ghats are higher as compared to Eastern Ghats. What is the third point of a difference? The third point of a difference, if it comes regarding the Western and the Eastern Ghat, if I ask you what is the third point after relief, just imagine the southwest monsoons. What do the southwest monsoon do? Give the rainfall. So where is the rainfall greater? The rainfall is greater in the Western Ghats region. So the Western Ghats receive much higher rainfall than the Eastern Ghats. See, each and every point of difference will help you revise the Western and Eastern Ghats. Each and every point of a difference will help you will help you actually has a potential of being asked as a question in the examination. So higher rainfall in the Western Ghat region. In fact, you know that this entire part of India receives very high rainfall, where mean average rainfall is about 200 centimeters, while this part does not receive more than 200 centimeters. यहाँ पे it is above greater than 200 centimeters, while obviously यहाँ पे the rainfall is somewhere around 150 centimeters. Now, if the area is receiving very heavy rainfall, in the Eastern Ghats, the Western Ghats receive very heavy rainfall as compared to the Eastern Ghats. The Western Ghats, after receiving very heavy rainfall, they lie in the high heat zone, and therefore, in this region, what will be the nature of soils? See, in the tropical regions, in the regions which receive very heavy rainfall, the soils which are present in the regions of high heat and high rainfall, the soils are laterite soils. The soils are known as an laterite soil. Now, which area? Laterite soil means the soils are for making bricks. What is the laterite soil? Laterite soil is produced due to the process of leaching. They are produced due to leaching. And what is the leaching? All the nutrients, all the major nutrients, if this is the different layer of the soil, if this is the top layer of the soil and down there is a bottom layer of the soil, in the process of leaching, all the major nutrients from the soil will be removed from the top layer of the soil, and the top layer of the soil remains rich only in iron and aluminium. Such a soil is red in color because of the presence of iron, and such a soil which is red in color because of the presence of iron is known as a leach soil, and such leach soil are known as laterites. Now, because they are red in color, they are known as laterites are red in color. Now, because everything is removed, only iron and aluminium remains, such soils are having less fertility. Laterite soils are having less fertility, and therefore they are used for making bricks. And because they are used for making bricks, it means laterite. Laterite means brick. Such soils are known as laterite soils. Now, which part of India receives, which part of the mountains, Western or Eastern Ghats, receives very high rainfall? Greater than 200 centimeters, it is in the Western Ghat region. This receives less amount of rainfall. So, यहाँ पे in the Western Ghat region, you get the entire amount of soil in the Western Ghat region is an example of a laterite soils. While in the Eastern Ghat region, if you can see in the Eastern Ghat region, let me change the color. In the Eastern Ghat region, generally this is an delta region. Generally, because major rivers flow through this region. This is a delta region, therefore, यहाँ पे there are fertile, even in the western coast of India and eastern coast of India, and along the Eastern Ghats there is a fertile soil. So, the difference between the soils, laterites on the western part of India in the Western Ghat region, in the western coast of India, and fertile soil in the Eastern Ghat and the eastern coast of India. So, laterites are in the Western Ghat region. Laterites are found in the Western Ghats region. So, Western Ghats, while a better soil is found in the Eastern Ghat region. After soil, what about if we are doing the rainfall? Rainfall says soils. What about the natural vegetation? Where there will be more amount of dense forest, where is the biodiversity more? In the Eastern or Western Ghats? If you remember what I told you, biodiversity is you must be familiar with the terms of the biodiversity. Now, the Western Ghats have been declared as one of the 8 mega biodiverse regions of the world. The Western Ghats have been declared as one of the 8 mega biodiverse regions of the world. So, the fourth point is about the biodiversity and natural vegetation. Biodiversity and natural vegetation. See, the two things are needed for life generally. one of the input for life is the amount of sunlight or amount of heat. But heat itself is not enough. The other input you require is the humidity or the water content. जिन areas में both these are higher, such of the areas are having high amount of biodiversity. And therefore, the equatorial regions in which the heat is high, water level is high because of everyday rainfall, have high amount of biodiversity. Have high amount of biodiversity. Therefore, the rainforests are also known as the lungs of the earth. Similarly, the Western Ghat region, because they receive large amount of rainfall, these are covered by evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. While the Eastern Ghat region, these are covered by deciduous kind of an forest. So what about the biodiversity? High amount of biodiversity in the Western Ghats. Biodiversity, I am writing it as BD, is high in the Western Ghat. In the Western Ghat. Biodiversity is low in the Eastern Ghat. Low in the Eastern Ghat. And because the biodiversity is high in the Western Ghats, therefore Western Ghats are declared as mega biodiverse hotspot, mega biodiverse hotspots of the world. Now, who declares these hotspots? World Wildlife Forum, UNESCO, BirdLife International, World Bank, or Climate Change Fund, or UNFCCC? Who declares the world as a hotspot region? I have told you who declares it. It is hotspots are declared by a body which is known as an Conservation International. It is declared by a body which is known as Conservation International. It is declared by a body which is known as an Conservation International. On the other hand, the Eastern Ghats are having, because they are having low biodiversity, therefore the Eastern Ghats is having deciduous forest. Which forest? Deciduous forest. After biodiversity and natural vegetation, what about what you will get from biodiversity and the natural vegetation? So we did the relief, rainfall, soils, then we did the biodiversity. So what about the biodiversity and the natural vegetation? The next point, actually this should be in the 6th point, is obviously the animal life, where it will be higher, because the biodiversity is higher. So where will be the animal life higher? Animal life is higher, and even the diversity of flora and fauna is higher in the Western Ghat region. And therefore, the Western Ghats have also been listed as World Heritage Sites. World Heritage Sites by which body now? By UNESCO. By UNESCO. I told you which state is having largest number of sites under the World Heritage. That is the Kerala. Animal life nahi, even the flora and fauna is higher. So don't just focus on the animal life. It is a continuation of the next point. We said biodiversity is higher, therefore hotspots. Also, therefore, this region is listed as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. This means World Heritage Site. World Heritage Site. It is an example of an World Heritage Site. Eastern Ghat does not have any such listing. Therefore, where you will prefer to go to the holiday, Eastern or Western Ghats? Will you prefer to go to Lonavala, Khandala, Uti, Mahabaleshwar, Mathiran, Some hill stations in Kerala, Munnar, where are this all located? They are all located in the Western Ghat region. Therefore, the Western Ghat region is also a tourist hotspot. Tourist hotspot with major hill stations. Hill stations. While the Eastern Ghats is not such a tourist hotspot. 8th point. We have finished about the animal life. We have finished about this thing about the biodiversity. Now, after natural vegetation, what you require? Agriculture. Now, tell me, agriculturally, which will be richer? Eastern or Western Ghats? Agriculture wise, Eastern Ghats will be richer or the Western Ghats will be richer? Obviously, the Eastern Ghats will be richer. Western Ghats may what? It is highly forested region. It is a steep mountain system. It is having a laterite soil, so agriculture is not that possible. Remember, Eastern Ghats are richer in agriculture. In agriculture. Especially, in fact, not even the Eastern Ghat region, but the eastern coastal plains are richer in agriculture compared to west coastal plains. Compared to the west coastal plains. Now, the major point of a difference, that is the 9th point. What is the 9th point? If you look at the 9th point, and if I draw a Western Ghat, if a map of India, if I draw here, if this is the Western Ghat region, and these are the Eastern Ghats region, there are numerous rivers, the bigger rivers of the peninsular India. What are the bigger rivers of the peninsular India? The bigger rivers of the peninsular India, that is the Godavari river, the Krishna river, the Kaveri river. Where do they originate? They originate in the Western Ghat region. So the next point is major rivers of the peninsula. Major rivers of peninsula, such as Godavari, such as Krishna, such as Kaveri. I hope you understand. To save the time, I am writing it as a shortcuts. So, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, they originate in the peninsular India. They originate in the Western Ghat region. No major river originates in the Eastern Ghat river. On other hand, no major river originates in the Eastern Ghat. Originates in the Eastern Ghat region. So this is the general idea you are having about the origin of the major rivers. Where do they originate? Then this is not the only thing. If I take one more help of a color, and if I try to help you with one more color, these are the Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri. They are flowing in the eastern direction. But there are numerous rivers of the peninsular India which originate on the western side of the Western Ghat and flow through the west coastal plain into the Arabian Sea. That means some of the rivers of the Western Ghat flow to the Arabian Sea, while the some of the rivers of the Western Ghat flow to the Bay of Bengal region. This is the Arabian Sea here, and this is the Bay of Bengal region. Iska matlab, the Western Ghat acts as a perfect water divide. Some rivers flow on the western side, some rivers are flowing on the eastern side. So the next point is, the Western Ghats act as a perfect water divide. Perfect water divide. While the Eastern Ghats do not act as perfect water divide. perfect water divide. So they act as a perfect water divide. What is a water divide? An area jahan se the two different river system will originate and they will flow to the either side. So the Western Ghat is acting as a perfect water divide, while the Eastern Ghat is not acting as a perfect water divide. So these are some basic points of differences between the Western and the Eastern Ghats. And I hope that you have understood the concept very properly. They can ask you simple basic point of difference. One more point of a difference. Which is higher, Eastern or the Western Ghat? The Western Ghats are higher. It is steep like mountain. So hydroelectric potential, that is HEP, hydroelectric potential, where it will be higher, in the Western or the Eastern Ghats? Hydroelectric potential is higher in the Western Ghat region. In the Western Ghat region. In fact, if you know, from the Western Ghat region in Karnataka, if this is the Western Ghat region in Karnataka, and if this is the west coastal plain of India, there are numerous waterfalls, and out of which Jog Falls on river Sharavati is the highest waterfall in the world. Jog Falls on Sharavati river, on the Sharavati river, is the highest waterfall in the world, in India, is the highest waterfall in India. Is the highest waterfall in India. In fact, why the HEP is higher on the Western Ghat? Because it is having large number of waterfalls. So what are the point of differences we did? We did the differences between the Western and Eastern Ghats in the terms of, we did it in the terms of relief, we did it in the terms of relief and structure. Relief is higher, structure is continuous, while the Eastern Ghats are discontinuous. We did it in the terms of the mountainous nature, we did it in the terms of rainfall, we did it in the terms of natural vegetation, we did it in the terms of biodiversity, we did it in the terms of tourism potential, we did it in the terms of renewable energy, that is the amount of waterfalls are higher, so HEP potential is higher. So HEP and waterfall. I hope that you know that HEP means hydroelectric potential. Hydroelectric potential. We did it in the terms of soils. We did it in the terms of agriculture. Obviously agriculture, because यहाँ पे the soil is laterite soil and the Western Ghats में the soil is laterite. And remember, the laterite soil is not fertile. It is not fertile. We will do that later on in detail while doing the soils. We did it in the terms of tourism. So we have done the basic differences between the Western and the Eastern Ghats, and we did it also in the terms of continuous nature. So revise these differences and be very careful while solving the examination questions. I am giving you, before stopping the lecture, I am giving you one question. Enumerate the differences between Western and Eastern Ghats in 200 words. In the 200 words. You can mail me, you have Super Prof Connect, you can send me the answer, or you can mail me at gs with Rushikesh @gmail.com. @gmail.com. So we'll meet again with the west and the east coastal plains of India. Until the time we meet again, thank you very much.